Rock 1 2.1 KF, man, that was Jack. Congratulations goes out to Justin winning those tickets for the Tucson Roadrunners this Friday. They got a lot of games. I'll be out there tonight hosting the games, and then there's a game on Friday and Saturday. So 4 home games all happening. Last night, they beat the holy hell out of the Henderson Knights. I mean, when I say they beat them, not only they beat them by score, but lots of fights. And there was a fight on the ice. Hunter Drew, number 36.
Yeah.
I'd never seen this kid throw fists like this, but like usually when they throw down the gloves, right, and they kind of circle up, they're ready to scrap. That's the rule. Referees stand back. And then usually you'll get like a good punch or two, and then they'll be grappling. Hunter Drew, he did something I'd never seen on the ice before. He fired off like 5 to 6 rapid fire shots almost immediately. Like he erupted, like it was personal. Like, I want to kill you. And it was like, bop, 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 bop. And it was like, oh my God, this is amazing.
He's doing like Muay Thai.
Yes.
What the hell?
Yes. It was one of the most aggressive fights I've seen on the ice in a very long time. And that was just round one.
Is the crowd going crazy?
Whoa. Oh my God, of course. Yeah, because, and I think there was an audible gasp because the shock of how many like punches he threw and how quickly he threw them was unexpected. Because again, you know, these are guys that are already tired. They're running around, they're full body cardio. And they go in, and it's a couple good shots for sure. Even the strongest ones and the biggest badasses, yeah, you get like the 1-2 piece, right? Left, right. But Hunter Drew went left, right, boom. And,
Hook, jab.
yeah, and
uppercut.
before you knew it, the fight was over, and I don't think the Henderson Knight guy knew what hit him. It was amazing, yeah. So, you know, they're going to run it back tonight, and that game starts off at 6 o'clock, so it's an early start. So if you guys want to come out, make sure you do so. There's always good promos.
I want to start doing mock-up UFC posters for the games.
You should do that just for this show.
Right?
Yeah, you know. Well, you know, because every day we have different people coming in on the show, right? So say like the Monday version of the show, like you and Weirdo facing off. Oh. You know, yeah, like Tuesday.
You're like, so when's the fight happening? You're like, oh, never mind.
Yeah, well, the fight will not be televised or streamed. It's all behind the scenes. Let me ask you, how did you guys feel emotionally yesterday?
Good.
You good?
Yeah, it was okay.
Yeah, what about you, Mari? See, she doesn't
It was
want to talk about
the full moon, that wolf moon, that threw me off.
Well, you know,
that was the last moon, right? Or was it this moon?
It was this last moon, but no, yesterday it was called Blue Monday, right? Blue Monday happens every year. It's statistically the most depressing day of the year.
But a great song.
Yes, a fantastic song. All right, a song so nice they recorded it twice. But yeah, so yesterday is the most depressing day of the year. I got ahead of it. I felt great yesterday because I did a little psilocybin therapy on Saturday.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know. And then they say that's a natural antidepressant for up to a year. And I don't know if this is placebo effect. But, you know, I mean, I was seeing, like, bad news and everything else, and I'm like, I feel numb to the world. It's amazing. This is fantastic.
Your friends are like, are you microdosing? You're like, no, I'm doing the whole thing, baby.
Yeah.
Going right in.
Yeah, no, for sure. I had a whole candy bar and everything. I read the instructions. They're like, do just this much to feel warm, feel this much to be trippy, and this much to blow your mind. And I'm like, I need my mind blown.
Yoink.
The point I'm bringing up, though, with Blue Monday is there's a challenge that I'm going to do because, you know, there's a positivity campaign that's happening out there called the Blue Monday Challenge. You got to go 30 days without complaining. Now, I know that I came in this morning kind of like a little hot because I waited a little too long at the Dunkin', so I was complaining. But I didn't start the challenge yet. So 30 days, no complaining, and that means on air as well.
0 complaining.
That's the Blue Monday Challenge.
If that was a Squid Game, I'd be the first round out.
I know you
No
would.
way in hell. No way in hell.
How long do you think you could last?
18 hours.
What's the last thing you complained about?
What's the last thing I didn't complain about?
Okay, yeah, that's fair. What about you, Mari?
I know, I'm thinking. The last thing I complained about was probably...
Traffic.
Yeah, this morning. Like, it's congested in the morning.
Yeah, it always is, though. It's fine. We're all trying to get to a destination, and we'll all get there eventually if we just take our time and play it safe.
Wow. Wow, that's so optimistic.
See, day one in the books.
Shrooms, man.
All right, coming up next, we got your F My Life. So don't forget, Rocco makes his triumphant return as we do another round of Tap Out. Of course, Rocco has a brand new location on Broadway. It's beautiful inside, and I can't wait to see which pizza he's going to surprise us with. We're going to get a grub on as well, and then give you an opportunity to win up to $100 in gift certificates to his fine establishment. That's after F My Life right here on Rock 102.1 KFMA. All right, we are here live. There we go. I'm seeing cameras and everything all work.
Technology.
Absolutely. Let's. We got Rico and Mari here, obviously, and yes, thank you for noticing. We're over 2,000 subs. Yeah, happened on the beginning of the year, which is long overdue, to be honest with you. But let me introduce our guests here. Very excited to welcome them back. You've probably seen them perform live. You hear them on KFMA all the time. A legendary band originating from Phoenix, Arizona. We have Chris and Sean from Grey Daze. Good morning, Chris. Good morning, Sean. And you got everything working there, which is good. Good to see you.
Hey.
Yeah,
You guys, thanks for having us.
Of course, dude. Yeah, we're going to debut the new single. We're going to play the music video for Pretty Little Lies as well, or Fake Little Lies, sorry. And, you know, and last we saw you was at The Rock, right? Tearing it up. And that's where, well, you know, and the consensus is the same, you know, because Grey Daze, of course, you know, made their name with being the original band of Chester Bennington, right? And then Chester passed away, but there was all these vocals that were still left with the original music that Grey Daze recorded back in the day that they really released, remastered, and became hits all over again. But the question always was, well, how are they going to pull this off live? And that's where you enter Chris. And then when Chris takes the stage, you're like, oh, shit, they can pull it off live. And not only does Chris do a good job of representing the original material, but then you could tell that they were kind of like building on this new original sound with Chris's style and vocals in mind. And so that's kind of like where we're at right now. Is it Grey Daze 2.0 in a way, Sean?
Absolutely. This is the reinvention of what we've been over the many years. And now that Chris is, you know, the front man of the group, we kind of had to come out and show everybody the new identity of what we are musically. You know, we still want to pay homage to our roots and to Chester. Of course, he'll always be a part of the group, but in order to move forward, we had to give the band an identity with Chris at the front. And that's what we're doing with this new single.
Nice, yeah. And so how did you get involved with the group, Chris? How far back do you go with these guys?
This goes back actually to when Amends was first released back in 2020. So I was invited to the private listening party out here in Los Angeles, and it was like last minute. Like it was happening in 45 minutes, and somebody invited me to it. And so I wasn't familiar with Grey Daze at that point, and I went in and I listened and heard Chester in a new light, like blues, soul, some of these things that we never heard from Chester in Lincoln Park. And I met Sean at the listening party, and we just kind of hit it off. We exchanged numbers. I'm a singer out here in Los Angeles. I have a couple different projects, and we just kind of hit it off. And a couple of years later, Grey Daze had some opportunities, and one of those opportunities was to perform at UFest. And 2023, Sean, was that 2023?
Oh God,
I think so. Yeah.
Yes.
And so he hit me up, and this was all like, it was just like, hey, let's give it a shot and see what happens, because Grey Daze has never been Grey Daze without Chester Bennington. So I just flew out there. I spent a few days with the guys. We really hit it off. We got in the rehearsal studios, and like, I'm familiar with Chester's voice. It really felt comfortable to me to do it. And the only problem was we performed our very first show in front of 15,000 people.
Yeah,
so
yeah, that's good.
That was
sink or swim, dude.
Sink or swim. I mean, we're getting thrown into it, right?
Yeah, we got Chris and Sean from Grey Daze on the podcast broadcast as well. We're going to be talking about what is essentially going to be Grey Daze 2.0. You know, what's the future of the band? Debut the brand new music video and single for Fake Little Lies from Grey Daze, all coming up here on the podcast broadcast. You can join us youtube.com/beefvegan. We're keeping the conversation moving though, because I will squeeze in Lincoln Park 2.0. coincidentally enough, right? So you got Emily Armstrong in the very exact same situation, where they're like, we want to continue this sound of what we're doing, but then also create new music. Linkin Park, Mike Shinoda doing the same thing. Emily Armstrong is, trying to fill those shoes as well, which is an unenviable task that I'm sure you can relate to. And this is their song Heavy as the Crown. Be back with new music from Grey Daze right after this on Rock 102.1 KFMA.
Yeah.
With that, I mean, as you see that happening here, Sean, what are your thoughts on the new Linkin Park lineup?
I get that question a lot. To be honest, I think they did the best with the situation they're given. A lot of people don't realize how tough it is, and it's weird the fact that we can relate so much to the scenario. I think honestly the band did a really good job at choosing the new lead singer, because as much as people are hoping for something that sounds identical to Chester, that's not gonna serve the band well. Chester has his own identity, and Chester will never really be replaced. So I think trying to find a way that can still pay homage to what the band was with him and be able to play those songs live in a meaningful way to the fans that want to hear them, but yet at the same time still grow forward. That's what they were looking at trying to accomplish. I think they did a good job. Emily's doing a good job. She sounds great. She can still sing the old stuff, doesn't try to sound like Chester, and it has her own identity. And now the band has a new identity. So we're rooting for their success and hope that they continue to play the music, because we know firsthand how much, and those guys are, on a much larger scale than we are, but we know firsthand how much the fans really connect to the music and want to hear it live.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And honestly, again, it's so relatable. So Chris, when you were going in, same thing. You're in the exact same position she is, where it's like, I wanted to be able to, do these songs right, do them justice, but at the same time, not be compared to a Chester Bennington like karaoke guy, right? Like a tribute act, right? So you still had to make it as original as possible. Was that difficult for you to be able to do it first, or were you able to initially be able to find the balance?
I don't think it was difficult. I think I found the balance right off. We have the same register. Chester was always an inspiration to me growing up, and so very familiar with Chester. And so I started out here in Los Angeles as a session singer, where I had to replicate and mimic many different singers.
Yeah,
And this is the first project where it was like, okay, this is where I am singing someone else's songs, but I am absolutely not going to try to mimic or replicate, because I find that to be more disrespectful than anything else. So I came into it with my own voice, and again, we were just trying to see if it works. So I was like, guys, if my voice isn't right for this, if you're looking for somebody more close to Chester, let's, totally fine. But it ended up working, and the fans are dictating this whole thing. We're not going to do anything that the fans don't want.
Right, exactly, right. And Sean, when did you know that you found your guy in Chris, and how long was that process of trying to kind of vet singers to see if they could pull this off?
Well, we really didn't vet singers. When I met Chris, I liked his energy. He seemed like a really nice guy, and we just kind of continued to keep in touch via social media for probably a year or so. And then we kept getting offers. We kept getting really big festival offers off that first record, Amends. And then, we got another festival offer, and I started talking to the guys. And so, well, what about Chris? He does this other project, and we went out and saw him live, and we liked how he performed on stage. So we really didn't. Actually, we didn't try out anybody. We just called Chris and said, "Does this work? Are you thinking about this the same way that we would think about this? And are you willing to give it a try?" And he said, "Yeah." So we flew him out. Probably over 4 or 5 months, we worked together back and forth. Until we got comfortable enough, and then we did that first show, and then of course that was really the only intention, was to do that one show, and then it just kind of snowballed from there. into more offers, more shows, eventually making it over to Europe and cruises and all these other things.
Yeah.
And then I think after a good year and a half, we finally were like, guys, if we're going to actually continue doing this, we're going to have to have our own music with Chris on it. So I think, without patting myself on the back too much, that was me really saying, guys, we have to give Chris his own identity as the front man to this, because otherwise he's just going to be having to sing these old songs, which is great. And like I said, fans want to hear them. But at the same time, for us to move forward, we have to have something with Chris's imprint on it, with Chris's DNA. So that's really how it came about. And then we just started writing. And actually, once we started writing, it came together very quickly.
Yeah. We actually put it out to the fans first. We were in an interview, and the interview got picked up by some publications, and that caught fire. And so that's when we were like, maybe we should put this out, because I think we were already writing at that point. We just hadn't talked about it.
Yeah. We brought in
awesome.
a producer we really like named Brian Virtue, who you guys might know. He did Audio Slave and 30 Seconds to Mars. He did a bunch of stuff, and he helped do a lot of the engineering on the Phoenix album we did. He just was a really great guy. We brought him out to Phoenix and worked with him and put down a couple of songs, and we were very happy with the way they turned out.
I love it. Well, you know what? We're continuing to go down the rabbit hole with Grey Daze. In fact, actually, I want to debut the lead single that they just released here, and we're going to share the video on the podcast broadcast so you can watch along with us. The song is called Fake Little Lies. So here's new music from Grey Daze. Oh, my God. Grey Daze on Rock 102.1 KFMA. If you want to watch the music video, then join us, youtube.com/bevegan. It's the podcast broadcast.
New tribute act idea.
Right?
Green
Yeah, I
Daze.
know.
Here's brain stew.
Green Daze. Love it.
Green Daze.
Yes, I had late night last night. We're going. But yeah, before we play this music video and stuff, let me get the idea. What was the idea behind this music video that you went in and tried to accomplish here?
That's a great question. So we wanted to make this a little bit special. So we booked a show at the Whiskey Go-Go in Hollywood, where
Legendary.
actually Grey Daze got their start. Like, Sean, correct me if I'm wrong, but this was one of the bigger shows that Grey Daze did at the beginning. And we invited the Grey Daze acts out, or the Grey Daze fans out, and we had one shot to do this music video, and we informed everybody, hey, like, this is it. This is going to be the music video. So have fun. And we shot the music video in one shot. It looked really good, so we ended up just making it the music video.
Nice.
Oh yeah, well let's check it out here. Debut on the podcast broadcast, Grey Daze with Fake Little Lies. Turn it up.
You'd break into my mind if you thought it would make you grow. You'd take all of my life if you thought it would make you glow. Oh, fake little lies, all that you've ever shown. So wave goodbye. I'd rather be all alone. You're a devil in the night, but you're gonna deny.
There you go.
That's a solid single.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
Fake Little Lies right here on the podcast broadcast. And let me just, that guy has nothing to do with the band. That was the
He's
ad
spreading
right
his own
after.
little lies.
Excellent
You
job.
just got free advertisement time right there.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I know. That's how they do it. And always pop it in. But excellent job. Sounds fantastic. And, what's been the initial buzz when you're like a grade A fan base? Because, I mean, like the hardcore, like the P1s. So what's the feedback you've been getting on this already, Sean?
They seem to love it. So it debuted last night at 12:01 a.m. globally, and we woke up this morning to hundreds and hundreds of comments on all the DSPs, and I don't think I've seen any negativity at all, and the fans really seem to resonate. And I also think that they seem to be very grateful to finally hear Chris on a track. So I'm actually really proud of him, the way he came through on this song. So lyrically, it's really strong. The melody that he came up with is great, and
The
he was
melody
really
is
easy to
insane.
work with.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a vocal gymnastics you're doing on there. You're such a powerful voice and also just great range that you showcase in that song without overdoing. How some people could try to sound like operatic and just kind of flexing their vocals. You could tell that you're a pro on this. It was super powerful and very clean.
I
So
appreciate
was
it.
digging it.
The stars aligned. I think that I was in a really emotional place whenever I wrote this, and we started writing when I was in an emotional place, and I was out here in Los Angeles and they were in Phoenix, and they sent me this tune, and I was literally in my studio, and the very first thing that popped in my head was that chorus melody, and I was like, something about lies, and then there we go, Fake Little Lies. It came together really quickly.
Well, there's a question I have with that process, too. So when you write these lyrics and have the emotions behind it, at that point, then does the band work around that? Or was that already kind of established what kind of tracking that was going to be?
This was
as
an
far as
interesting...
sound-wise?
Yeah, that's a great question. This was an interesting process because they sent me the ideas of what the song would be. Usually I'll get a full track, and that's kind of less inspiring because there's less to work with and create. But we got parts. I got parts of it, and then when I wrote a part, it inspired the other side, and then the other side inspired my part, and so we kind of went back and forth on this whole remote recording thing, and then we went into the studios in Phoenix and recorded it fully. And so that's kind of how it happened.
Nice.
Yeah. Now, do you add riffs or like a bridge? You're like, hey, this is like, you basically have the ongoing riff, right? And would you want to change a bridge here? You're gonna add a chord progression there. Did you do that to this song?
The bridge was something different at one point. And Kristen, who's the guitarist, he's insane at creating riffs. And so we had a different bridge at one point, but it wasn't like the bridge had to be powerful. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the moment, this is the climax, this is the part of the movie where they find out that the bad guy is the bad guy.
Yeah.
And so it just had to have some girth to it, and we kind of changed it up, and it is what it is now.
Kristen, more girth. Now.
More girth, Kristen. He hears that.
A lot.
He hears that a
Oh,
lot.
is that a lot? Yeah.
When we write, it's a much more democratic process than a lot of bands, where we'll have something in place as a placeholder for weeks, and we'll write around that, and then it'll morph into something different as Chris comes up with a different melody. We'll bend around that, or vice versa. So and everyone in the band is really open to each other's ideas, so it's not an autocratic kind of process. It's a lot of fun to write with these guys.
Right, you're like, I'll give you less girth and you'll like it. You said you had like lies in mind, kind of when you got this music, kind of tapped into what you were feeling at the moment. Was there someone in mind, like a personal experience that this song was like 100% written about?
Yeah. This took two different storylines that I was going through at the time. And one of them, and you hear in the lyrics, there's a target on my back because I'm not the divine. I started feeling the pressure, obviously being invited into this project and performing in front of 15,000 people, and it's Chester. Like, that's a very difficult shoe to fill. And I felt the pressure of that. And look, just like Emily got the heat, I got the heat too, man. and it's to be expected because of the legacy that is Chester. And so part of the lyric, part of the storyline was the pressure that I was feeling. But the other side of it was I have met a lot of people that was closely connected that tried to take advantage of me in this position. And so that's what the other part of this storyline is.
Wow, nice. Yeah. Well, and honestly, it's relatable too, because did you get blowback when you started doing these shows, or it was announced as the lead singer doing the shows live from like Chester fanatics and hardcore fans, angry? I mean, the reality is there is no other way. If you want to hear this music live, you got to figure out a way to be able to perform this live. But was there any resentment to you for taking the role?
There was resentment from a lot of the hardcore, or some of the hardcore fans that never saw it live, didn't know who I was, didn't know what we were all about. Emily went through the same thing, and I think you're seeing all of that kind of die down because you're getting to know Emily, right, in this position. And so when we went after we did U Fest, started hearing less and less, and then we went over to Europe. And at every show, we're doing meet and greets. This is a very personal experience. And so we're meeting everybody, and they're getting to know me. I'm getting to know the Grey Daze fans. And so we're hearing less and less and less. And I expected bigger, honestly, I expected bigger blowback on this single. And I'm very pleasantly surprised that the Grey Daze fans have accepted me into this. And I love them to death.
Yeah, no.
At the end of the,
go for it,
at the end of the day, you have fans that, they grew up with Chester in a certain context of their life, so they have this ownership that they feel with his music, and it means something very special to them. So when it's done any other way than the way they feel it should be done, they can be very guarded with it. So I think we had to be careful with the way we curated not only the live show, but with new music as well. And our messaging is pretty straightforward. Look, we are doing this first and foremost because we love to play music. We love to write music. We love to create. Secondly, we're doing it because we're trying to pay homage to our lost friend. And now as we've put out new music, this is for us. And we're hoping that the fans resonate with what we're trying to put out there. But at the end of the day, we're doing the best we can, and to Chris's point, some of the negativity that came out, it's far less than what we're making it out to be in this conversation. It was a couple percentage of people were negative. And the far majority of the people that were responding to what we've done, even from all the way back from amends up till now, has been overwhelmingly a positive experience. So we've kind of, as a band, really tried to focus on putting our energy into the people that understand what we're doing and love what we're doing, rather than focus on some of the negativity. Early on, it was easy to focus on the negativity, but it's a lot easier to give the people who love what we're doing our energy and react with them.
Yeah. Now, Sean also owns Club Tattoo, and he was business partners with Chester as well. When did you and Chester link up back in the day? Where did you guys actually meet and start doing this?
Well, I met him through a mutual friend in Phoenix when we were trying out singers. He said he knew this kid that sounded just like Eddie Vedder. We should give him a try. So he brought him in a couple of days later, and we auditioned him. And, when he walked in, he was this scrawny little 15-year-old nerdy looking kid. But then he got up on the mic, and he just, even at 15 years old, he had something special. And I knew right away that he was the guy. And we became, best of friends, and it just kind of launched from there. And then we put out several records in the 90s, and went all the way to like late 98, 99, when the band ended up breaking up after we had a couple of record deals and some regional fame, and we're doing well. And then he went on to Linkin Park. And when he went on to Linkin Park, we weren't talking for a couple of years. And then we reconciled, I want to say in 2001, 2002. And then from that point, we became business partners in Club Tattoo in 2003. We did a whole bunch of stuff globally with the businesses and the branding. And then he and I played in a couple of side projects just for fun and some parties and stuff like that. And then fast forward to 2016, we were on a phone call discussing another Club Tattoo anniversary party, and it was his idea to actually put the band back together. You know, he was feeling like he wanted to do something of his own again, and that's really where the idea initiated from. And we were working on a record all the way up until the time he passed away, and we picked it back up, you know, about 6-8 months after he passed away, to try to just initially complete the music, was the idea, and it's just kind of grown from there.
Yeah, and obviously you were blindsided by the tragic news of his passing. We're speaking with Sean and Chris from Grey Daze here on the podcast broadcast on Rock 102.1 KFMA, which, of course, nobody saw coming. But it is a beautiful testament to your friendship and your history, to continue the legacy and the project and say, okay, well, this is what we're working on before his passing. This is what he wanted. And, you know, we want to continue to honor that. And I'm sure even when you released it, you probably weren't even considering this as like a live act and like you're going to tour the world off of it, right? You just wanted to get the music out there.
Yeah, I couldn't wrap my head around a live performance back when we put it out at all. Would get that question a lot. There's probably 500 interviews with me saying, we're not going to be playing this live. This doesn't make any sense.
Right.
And then finally, you know, it just kind of, we got pushed enough for people asking us to do it live. And I just could not, up to that point, there was just this brick wall of how do we do this live? I couldn't wrap my mind around it. And then, you know, the idea of bringing Chris in to do it, and just more from there. And I guess I came to accept it, is
Yeah.
the best way I can put it. And Chris has done a great job at bringing it to life. Without him, I don't think it would have happened.
Well, yeah, and well, it adds. It's a whole different live show than people are going to expect, and it's a fantastic one. And like I said, we got the pleasure of being able to see you down here at the Rock, and I'm sure, and I hope that we'll be able to see you again. But you guys have tours and gigs all lined up, huh? So what's on the agenda for Grey Daze in 2025?
Man,
Go ahead, Chris.
Man, we got a European tour coming up in March. Really, we were just concentrating on releasing this first single. We're going to have a warm-up show before we go to Europe. We're doing the warm-up show in Phoenix. That's going to be announced really soon. And then we go to Europe. We're going to hit Germany, Netherlands, Lisbon, Portugal. And then after that, we have several things that we're working on that are actually super awesome that we'll be able to announce probably after March. But, you know, again, this has gone from let's go do UFest to where we are now. Like this is insane, guys. Like we're not dictating this. We want to do what the fans want. And so you want to talk about flow state, man? We're just in the flow right now.
You know, we really do. Next time you guys do your festival, we want to come down there and play that. We originally
getting people rabid about that because we've been working on that forever and a day. And fingers crossed we get something going on this year. We might have missed the window for KFMA Day, but definitely got our fingers crossed for fall ball. And if not, something in between.
Beef ball.
Yeah, we're working on
beef
some
ball
stuff for sure. You got to do
we'd love to be part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. We would love to have you for sure. So, you know, what part of Europe has been the most surprising where they have the fandom where you're just like, holy hell, you know, because it's got to surprise you. You just put the music out there, right, on the World Wide Web. And then there's some places that just gravitate to it and they latch onto it. And you never expect it until you see it in person. What's that place for you that you performed and you're like, damn, these guys really get it?
For me, that was London. I was like, what is happening? We show up, we're doing sound check. We go grab a bite to eat. It's like 4 PM, and there's a line wrapped around the venue already at 4. Wow. And I was like, Sean, is that for us? And I was like, is somebody else playing here tonight that I don't know about? And we go over and they see us and they start calling us over and we go over there and I'm just like, wow, this is a pleasant surprise. So for me, it was London. I don't know about you, Sean.
The very first show we did in Amsterdam and Enschede or Hengelo, that was a special show because it was our first show in Europe, and then the one we did in the one we did on the ship, the boat that we did.
The
Help
German
me out
cruise.
there, Chris.
It was the
No, well that too. Yeah, the German cruise was cool too, but
German
the one
cruise.
it was in the very first it was the
Thekla.
town
That was Thekla.
Thekla in Bristol, England. That was a really special show. That one for me, I think, was probably the most special to date.
That's awesome. Amazing.
Well,
you know,
all of those fans were incredibly kind, and that for me was really an insight to how much the music really touched those fans. They really resonate with the lyrics and the music, and we're kind of the conduit for it, and that's very special for me.
was it one of those shows where you start singing and then they just take over?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's
We're
gotta
all
be
kind of
easy
looking at
shows.
each other on stage like, wow, this is pretty intense. This is pretty real.
Did you think to yourself, Sean, like, oh, we didn't even need to bring Chris for this tour?
Yeah, they could have done it without me.
No.
We could have had his cut and everything, you know? Just say the
Put-
first two
put it on
words,
track,
like, go.
Chris actually is a really good front man. He really understands how to connect with the crowd, and that to me was one of the reasons we brought him in the band. Was he got it on multiple levels. Yeah, he can sing, and that's part of it, but he understands how to connect with the people in the crowd, and you have to be able to do that.
Yeah, no,
Aw,
and
thanks,
no
buddy.
smoke. That was the consensus when we saw you live at the Rock. You know, because I think everyone went in with the same skepticism. We're like, okay, let's see how this plays off live, because you obviously hear the singles on the radio, and and how good they sound, but that's the test. And everyone walking away was just like, that lead singer, man, like he was able to nail it. It sounded fantastic. It was a pro show. And not only paid homage, but also set your own identity, which is the whole goal. So I have a second song, Still Screaming, right? Is this going to be off the new project as well?
Are we
And
doing
is
that?
I'll do it. I make
Look
my
at
own
Sean's
rules
face.
in this hour. Yeah.
Well, we hadn't planned on releasing that yet, but yes, it was. That's the next one coming out. Is Still Screaming. So you actually the first to announce that.
Oh, yeah. So I'm giving. I inadvertently, give leaks all the time, Sean. So I
And now they're
apologize
screaming on the
if
inside.
that's not
No,
the
don't
case. but
apologize.
I'm not
Wait,
mad
wait,
at
wait.
it. If you want to, Sean, what do you think?
You do like a live record playing on the radio for the very first time. Now, the single we're pushing here that I'm sure you're going to be hearing on this station is the one that we just debuted, Fake Little Lies. And then we also watched the music video for that. But are you guys releasing an EP or an album?
EP.
Okay.
We're starting out with EP, we will have more tracks coming this year. We've got some more stuff, and we're excited, and hopefully you like the next song as well.
Well, we'll find out right now. All right, yes, I'll play it right now on the radio. Breaking all the rules here. This is a leak track. Could be the second single. Could just be one of the tracks off the EP. We don't even know yet, but it's called Still Screaming, and it is a Rock 1 2.1 debut. So go ahead and turn it up on your radio, and you can join us on the podcast broadcast, youtube.com/beefvegan. Here we go.
Rock on the drive home.
Hey, it's Razor. Just having a drink and reflecting on.
No, that's not what I meant to do. Love you, Razor, but I'm not trying to hear your voice right now. All right, so here we go. This is the debut. Let's do it again.
All right.
And in situations like this, we're just going to go close up on Mari. Mari Kim. No air drums. Oh, you sound a little bit like Chester in this one, dude. It's in a good way. Nice little breakdown right here. There you go.
Oh,
Debut. I gotta thank for Mac for loading that up in the playlist.
Yeah, you guys made the right move.
Yeah, still screaming.
Good job.
You know what's
Good.
the scariest
Super
thing?
good.
You know-
Great hook,
Great
great
hook.
melodies, very strong, and then it is without
That's a crowd pleaser.
yeah, it pays homage in such a good like respectful way without trying to be like you as Chester in cosplay. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know what the scariest part about all of this is watching the reaction video to the song being debuted live.
I know.
That was listen, that was more scary than performing in front of 15,000 people for the first time at
All of our
UFest.
faces just like this.
Isn't
I
it
know, I just
always
soak it
weird
up.
though? I know you've been in this position 1,000 times over, right? Where you're like playing the song for your like friend or someone in
Family.
your crew, like, hey, I got this new song, check it out, and then you gotta like you try not to like watch them, but you're still kind of checking them out, and then the person listening, you're like, yeah, I'm feeling it, but at the same time, do I look weird when I'm feeling it? Yeah, a lot of stuff going on, But
Yeah,
that was a live reaction.
I feel the need to explain every section as it's happening. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I
We should
know.
do that. Pause next time and have him explain every little bit.
Well, I was
Yeah.
live on the radio, so I didn't want to ruin the radio experience while
hold
they're
on.
going in there. But that was a nice little sneak peek and exclusive, and we appreciate being able to do that
Hell
as
yeah.
well. Now, Chris, it would be rude to ask you if to ignore the fact that you're out in LA. How you doing out in LA? Is your
Yeah.
area affected by the fires at all, or?
Dude, man, so I was flying out of town for a tour out of Burbank as the fires were happening in the Palisades, and I was flying over it, and I got to see it, a firsthand account of what was happening, and it was actually 3 miles from where I live in Studio City.
Wow.
And many of my friends got evacuated, and so my wife over here in LA put everybody up while I was on tour. And all of a sudden I started seeing my friends' houses being burned down to the ground, like
Jeez.
nothing left. And
Wow.
that was in Altadena, that was in the Palisades, and so many of my friends lost their homes, and just devastating. And we're safe, but I don't know what's going to happen here in LA. It's going to be years, decades before LA recovers from this. But the cool part is that when something happens, the community comes together, and I'm seeing GoFundMe's getting filled up in 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
You see that, humanity always steps up in times of crisis, and it's unfortunate that this is the reminder that, people still care. You have to have something very tragic like this happen. Yeah, and it looks like this week is going to be another one too. So I mean, just continue to hunker down and best of luck out in that, dude.
Yeah, the winds picked up last night, and it was kind of like trauma. So a lot of people are kind of on guard, and the crappy thing is that when tragedy strikes anywhere, you're gonna have people that want to enhance the tragedy, and so there's arsonists around LA trying to light fires and trying to create chaos, and that's a bummer, man. But we'll catch them.
Yeah, I'm sure there's lots of people out there with their eyes open now and make sure,
you see one just go, "I'm screaming at you."
I hope they're not singing that song. Oh man, that's the tabloid.
You're right.
Right? I'll have a Marilyn Manson moment for sure.
Oh yeah.
Well, I appreciate you guys hanging out with us, and I look forward to hearing the rest of the EP, and hopefully getting a show down here soon. Once you guys do another successful European run and everything else, and I'm glad this story is so great on so many levels. Sean, and I grew up in Phoenix, so I definitely remember the legend and the buzz of Grey Daze when you guys were an unsigned act playing at the Jar. And so, to see where the band has becoming and evolving to, and then seeing this success on this level in 2025 is a beautiful thing to see. And I know, again, it was something that was unexpected, and, that's not forced. And I think, the fact that it's so organic is the best part about this story. So, I just imagine that, it's just going to be continued success. It's going to be a very busy year for you guys. And I could easily see this song, even the one that we just leaked, making its way into a power rotation as well. So, congratulations on everything. Best of luck in LA, and continued, luck in that, and, have fun on this journey. And I'm sure we'll catch back up when you get back to the States after your European run, where we could start planning on what's next for Grey Daze here in Arizona, and then, around the rest of the country, right?
Thank you. We really appreciate the support from you guys. We'll be sending you guys some of the limited vinyl for Fake Little Lies for you to give away for some of the fans. We've got some goodies we'll be shipping out, and definitely would love to come back on. So thank you for having us, and thank you for the continued support. We love you guys.
Thank you, guys.
Dude. Yes,
Appreciate
thank you. Yes, and good meeting you officially, Chris and Sean, and we'll talk again here soon. All right, we're going to hit the reset on the podcast side. Earlier this morning, we touched on this. In case you missed it, went a little something like this.
Did you get caught self-loving by your mom?
Awkward. It is awkward.
Did you do something that got you fired from your job?
I just get stupid.
It's fun being stupid.
Don't hide this in vain. Let us laugh at your pain. Call 600-KFMA right away.
I promise we won't embarrass you.
Because Beef Vegan presents F My Life. F My Life. F My Life.
Yes, it's time for another edition of Your F My Life. These are unfortunate situations. Email to me at beefvegan@kfma.com, subject on FML. But of course, if you have an F My Life you care to share on the air, you can give us a call at 600-KFMA at 600-5362. And our panel will weigh in on your F My Life situation. If we agree your life is F, we'll hook you up with a pair of tickets for your Tucson Roadrunners. Mari and Rico are sitting in for the F My Life. So you guys ready?
Mm-hmm.
Darn skippity.
All right. First email sent to me by Summer. Summer said, I once went to my long-distance boyfriend's house, and his best friend was talking to me and trying to make conversation. And he asked, so, are you two official? I responded with a definite yes, but was cut off mid-word by my boyfriend, who quickly said, no, not really.
Oh.
Yeah. Sorry, I wasn't aware of that. All right. So, F My Life for Summer for finding out she wasn't really serious with her long-distance boyfriend.
Absolutely.
Okay. What do you say, Rico?
Yeah, you would kind of assume that'd be a defined yes. So yeah, F My Life.
But why is she still calling him her boyfriend?
Said one time, so I think she's. I feel like she's moved on in this scenario.
Uh-huh.
A long distance breakup.
Yeah, long distance breakup. Back in the day, that used to cost a lot of money. You know, not now. Nah, just send a little text. A peace sign emoji, and that's all you got to say.
I would be so petty. I would send somebody that does like, what is it, the telegram?
A candygram?
Yeah, something. Yeah, have somebody recite a poem in front of them.
You would do that?
Yeah, I'd be petty if it was long distance.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I mean, that's super money. Well, I'll tell you what I've done. Rock on 2.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. A big thank you again goes out to Sean and Chris from Grey Daze for joining us on the podcast broadcast.
Incredible.
Yeah, it was good times as always, and you know their singles are so strong. So I'm very excited about what this year has to come. And like they said, they're ready to come down and play for us, especially if we bring back KFMA Day or Fall Ball. So if you guys are listening, if you're listening,
Hello.
we already got one band down.
Yes,
what
we
else do
do.
we need? You know, like we'll get a couple more on there. Just get a venue. We'll go with the arena, Keno Stadium. I'll do it at the park. I'll do it at the food park, and then go say what's up to Sean Gatz and check out one of his sandwiches because I still want to get Sean on the show.
Oh, you should.
Yeah, I've been watching his YouTube content like crazy.
It's addictive. It's like a show.
It is a show, you know, and he has a fantastic personality. Gatz Deli is the name of his spot. He came out here as a viral sensation on TikTok and YouTube, and he owns a small business right there in the food truck court. Where's that at? On like Fort Lowell or something?
Oh, I don't know. I thought it was further away. It was.
Oh, it could be, but yeah. So you know, it's one of those kind of places that have a bunch of food trucks all rather around. So if you guys know Sean, or you go out there and get the sandwich, give him a shout and let him know that we'd love to have him on the show. All right, let's do some viral video real quick before we wrap things up here on the podcast broadcast. There's a couple things I want to share with you. Now, the first thing is the inauguration. Let's talk about the inauguration. Of course, you know, oligarchy is the word of the year, right? You're going to hear that a lot. And that's because all the billionaires that lined up for the inauguration, Mark Zuckerberg, of course, being one of them, he is the Facebook CEO. Did you see the moment where he failed the test? So there's the difference between Mark Zuckerberg and RFK Jr. is that RFK Jr. is old enough not to get caught looking at another woman's breasts, right? Zuckerberg knowingly gets caught, and gives a smile. The old Jeff Bezos there, like, yeah, I just checked your wife out.
Yeah,
and if you
right.
don't believe, did you see this video, Rico?
No.
Okay.
It's a power move?
No.
Or is it a bad,
Well,
awkward?
it's never...
Well, it's Zuckerberg, you're right.
Exactly. It's never a blatant power move. It's always going to be somewhat awkward. But check this out and tell me if I'm wrong here. Now, of course, Lauren Bezos, you know, it caused a little bit of controversy with her outfit.
Lingerie.
Yeah, she kind of had lingerie underneath a jacket. Of course, Lauren Bezos is the best gold digger of all time. She is the GOAT of gold diggers. I broke this down in the segment before and talked to, explained how she went from one guy with a net value to another guy with a higher net value until she reached the richest man in the world.
Wow.
Now, if I was Jeff Bezos, I'd be looking at Elon Musk being like, stay away from my girl, bro, because Elon Musk is amassing more net worth. And in history has proven that just means that he is going to be more desirable than Bezos. That's just how it goes when it comes to the GOAT of gold digging. But no, Zuckerberg, he makes good money too. So he knows that he's still in the running for this possibility. Check this out. Tell me if I'm wrong. Look at him. Boom.
The smile afterwards?
Yes.
Whoa.
Straight up looked down and then looked over and smiled at Jeff Bezos. It's like he got caught. Now, just like right after that, then RFK Jr., all right, he's in the same scenario where she's actually taking off her jacket in front of him. But check out RFK Jr. and his smoothness, okay?
Okay,
So
Lauren
this is a
Sanchez.
man who knows when to look up and act like nothing is happening, right?
Okay,
So
do not
she's
look
like, can
down
you
at
hold this for
those.
me? He's like, sure.
Do not look
sure.
at 'em.
And then if
there's
his
gonna
wife
be
Cheryl's
memes all over the
watching,
internet.
right?
She knows what she's doing.
Yeah.
Lauren,
This
did you need a
there you go.
safety pin?
Then RFK
Or
Jr.
did you
looked around
have
like,
one
I
and you
don't,
busted
don't
it?
care, don't care, didn't see it.
I think you
It's
needed to
unhealthy
borrow a
breasts
safety
anyways.
pin.
They're not all
But
natural.
you look great.
All right. So that's
He's
the
like,
difference.
I'll take any seed oil to get a piece of that. I'll do anything.
But, you know, Zuckerberg's reaction, of course, was the funniest all the way through.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
She's at a rich guy buffet. She's going to have a ball.
I know.
Yeah.
And every billionaire with a B does say that, you know, does know that they have a chance. And so they're just throwing out there, not necessarily shooting or shot per se. They're just going to continue to build up their net worth. And that will lead into our beef tip.
Apropos.
Here's our beef tip because oligarchy. That's oligarchy. There you go. See, it's still newish word for me. Even
I
though,
understand.
Yeah, but we need I mean, it's a word that I'll be able to say correctly by the end of the year because it's a word that's going to continue to be thrown out in the media all the way through. But there is a little bit of a strong argument to the wage disparities that we're experiencing here in America. All right. The difference between a millionaire and a billionaire. Andrew Santino said this in a viral clip, and we did the math, and it checks out. And, of course, it wasn't too long ago. In recent memory, we could all recall when we're like, oh, he's the richest man in the world. He's worth $2.4 billion. Right? Now, Elon Musk is reportedly worth $400 billion. That's less than a decade that happened.
Ay.
Did anyone else quadruple their net value? No? That's weird.
Strange.
The difference between a millionaire and a billionaire is this. If you add up 1 million seconds, that adds up to 11 days, right? How much is 1 billion seconds, Mari?
Multiple years.
31 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's the difference between a millionaire and a billionaire, right? So even if you're a millionaire and you think you're, one of them, you're not.
Millionaires
not
are what they consider poor people.
Absolutely.
They look down on millionaires.
Right.
Gross.
And if you're a thousandaire,
You're dust.
you're
Ooh.
dust
Nothing.
in the wind, son. The dust is worth more than you, right? And Elon Musk, if you add up all his seconds, that comes out to 32,000 years. Yes.
Wow. So
yeah.
this is your tip?
My tip,
Good
my
luck,
beef tip
everybody.
to you, of course, avoid Blue Monday, but stay mad, be mad, and it's not right, and we need some money too.
I know. Share the wealth.
Exactly.
Damn,
All
it's
right.
obligatory.
Yeah. Obligatory. Say it again for me. What's the word of the day?
Oligarchy.
Oligarchy. There
That's
it is.
it. That's the word of the day.
All right. That's all the time we have for the day. Tomorrow morning, we'll continue the show. Rico and Valdez will be in studio. Robin Nash is up next. Enjoy the rest of your day. Drive safe, ride safe, and as always, rock local. Later.
When you wish
As you can tell, I didn't necessarily have a beef tip today, but I like billionaire math. That's always fun.
If you've been mean or kind of
Love you guys. Thank you for helping us reach 2,000. Be back tomorrow morning.